It's over. It's over. We've already lost.
Yeah. So remember how we said last week Wednesday was going to decide the last game of the season was going to be the decider?
We were incorrect.
Wishful thinking that we were going to be able to take control in game 82.
Yeah. Well, and you know what the worst part about all of it is about missing this playoffs?
Pain for 2 years in a row.
A lot of it. And you also have just very disappointing moments throughout the year. The Ducks. The Flames.
Yes.
Colorado.
The empty net goal by Gino against the Coyotes at Mullet Arena, which will be no longer.
There's that. No more Coyotes.
Get into that later.
There is also...
Maybe we name the Salt Lake team later.
I feel like we've already done that a few times. But no. We also just... All of these other disappointing goals that's been given up last minute of the period, right after a goal. The power play being a joke all year. It's accumulated to this. It's what it has done.
Yeah, I mean.
So here we go to the off season. What questions are going to be asked? Who knows? But there will be no first round pick. There will be nothing. No playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, so you were just talking about the power play, and I was curious. I want to know where the power play would, I mean, obviously, more than likely end up at the end of the year. 31st in the league right now at 14.6%. I mean, that is atrocious. Everybody else, there is there's 10, not even 10 teams with the power play in the teens. And Flyers had the worst power play, 12.2%.
It never got better.
It never got better. I think it stayed piss poor all year long.
Well, that's really the only way to improve it via free agency.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to. And you're going to have a lot of money coming up this offseason, so spend well, Kyle Dubas. Please, we know you listen.
Well, it's already been one off season of some disappointing action so far. Maybe they can be righted. Maybe the players can even write themselves out.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? But
it could happen.
It doesn't help that your core four is another year older.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, do you really bank on Sid having another year like this at 36 into 37? Or 30? I'm sorry. What, 37 into 38?
It wouldn't shock me.
No, it wouldn't.
But it would. At the same time.
Right.
Because let's not get lost, like how good he was at the end of this season. But there was also some very disappointing stretches this year, and I feel like a lot of people did feel like they moped around after the trade a bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, we're not good enough, but then, hey, like, all of a sudden, Bunting has shown he can play and looks like a good fit, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But, like you said, though, that trade might very well work out for both teams at this point.
I mean,
Carolina.
I would say it's worked out for Carolina. Yeah, I mean, it kind of has worked out for us, but also maybe the addition of Michael Bunting was too good too late into the season for this team. I mean, I love the player, but now, like we were saying, we don't get the top 10 pick. We get nothing. I mean, well, no, we'll get because it's not a top 10 pick. So
if Carolina goes on to win the cup, we do get a first round pick, but it'll be in the back end of the draft.
Yeah, that'll be. So we would end up with, because we have to. It has to be a top 10 pick, correct, for the Erik Karlsson trade? Or no, it's top 10 protected. Okay, so it does go to them.
Correct.
Sorry.
Yep, we have discussed that a few times.
I don't know why
We discussed that whenever we were hardcore tanking.
Yeah, I don't know why that.
This hurts more, though.
Yeah, it
this
definitely
hurts
does.
more. Oh well. They suck.
Hey, it is what it is at this point. I mean, they had their chance to change it, and
Well, now it's back into. Well, we can see what kind of headlines we can create. We can make up some rumors and see if we can get them spread online during the off season.
I don't know that I want to have another summer of predicting people losing jobs. So I don't think we should start in April.
Because we still do have the regular season game tonight.
We do.
There is still one last one. The one that we thought might be for all the marbles.
And
It's
now
not
it is
that
for
way.
nothing.
But how did we get there? That's in case you didn't watch the Penguins and you're getting caught up. How did we get there? Because this team was pretty resilient towards the end. There was a disappointing loss to the Boston Bruins on Saturday, 6-4.
Yeah, that one hurt. I mean, obviously, to not get a point, and then even to just, I mean, I guess now it doesn't matter, but to give up a point to Detroit, that kind of hurt in the moment. Yeah, a lot of, like I said, a lot of pain.
Sidney Crosby, 42 goals, 50 assists.
Yeah.
Before, we'll see what he puts up against the Islanders tonight too. But
Right.
what an impressive career, like the whole way through.
And he missed how long out of his prime? I mean,
I
with
think
those concussions. I mean,
I low key still think that was I think that was like. Oh.
what do you gonna say?
I think the doctors might have messed up that one. I think it was a neck issue and they didn't diagnose it right.
I mean,
That's my
yes, and
that's my Penguin conspiracy theory out there.
could be a little bit of that. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if that was the way it was.
Because I remember them saying something about like one of these, like back in like 2012 or something. Like,
Right.
Whenever he was coming back, like, hey, wait, it might actually be like this
Like a neck
area here
yeah.
where it's still coming. Like they're thinking he's still having headaches. It's still concussion. But like really, like if your neck's like out of whack back there, that's probably going to give you a pretty good headache of
You'd
some
think,
type
yeah.
too.
Yeah. I mean, can't argue that. Sounds pretty logical to me, but I'm also just a homer that doesn't know anything about the human body, really.
Let me know if that sounds like it's plausible or not. Come prove me wrong.
Sounds, yeah, please do. I mean, why not? Sorry, I'm looking through like back at the schedule to see like any egregious losses. And in January, we lost 5-2 to the Coyotes.
Yep, you would like to have that one.
That's
That was your
so-
empty net game that you referenced, the one where we put the
Yeah.
puck in our own net.
Yeah, that was just such a disheartening game.
That Anaheim one really just irked
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the 5-on-3 to end the game and to go into overtime with a 4-on-3, I think it was. Or no, I'm sorry, that game didn't go into overtime. That game ended with the 5-on-3 because we gave up a short game.
Yep, and there was a 5-on-3 with like that.
Yeah, the final like 2 minutes.
I'm sure you can hear about prior disappointment of that game in a previous YinzCenter episode.
Multiple, I think, at this point.
Because we said, look at that game. That one's gonna hurt us. Like it's gonna come down.
I think
to
I said
stupid
at
race.
that point it's going to come down to like 1 point or 2 points, and that'll be it.
You wish you had. That was one that you really should have had.
Yeah, because I mean, like when you're looking at it, it really did come down to what, 3 points, 4 points, 3 points.
Because even you should have accidentally taken it to overtime at that point.
Right.
And will they do something about the 3-on-3 in the off season? Good grief.
I've seen people talking about getting rid of overtime loss points, and I kind of like that because that gives you more. It gives more incentive to try to win the game. Now, I'm not saying that people are taking shifts off in overtime, trying not to win a game. point. But I think if you do like a 3-point, 2-point system or something like that, I don't know. But like I said, just things I've heard other people talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, in the place of, and how do we get there on Tuesday night? You might be wondering still. How do we get in this position where we're already out? Because we were even thinking like, hey, if this game still matters, we might come and record this afterwards,
Right?
Because it might be playoffs on the line.
Yeah. It came down to what? There was 4 teams at one point going for 2 spots. Then it went down. The Islanders clinched that last spot, so there were still 4 teams going for 1 spot. And it was us, Philly, Detroit, and the Capitals. And Philly and the Capitals played last night, and Montreal played Detroit last night. And we needed Washington and Detroit to get 1 point or less. And Detroit took their game to overtime. And so they were going to get at least 1 point. I think that game had gone final, and then Philly pulled their goalie in a 1-1 game to try and get the win, to try to get themselves in the playoffs. And that is when the Capitals scored on that empty net goal in a 1-1 game. That is what knocked the Penguins out. So
Detroit also did win too.
did they? Okay.
Detroit beat Montreal in a shootout too. So
Okay.
it was all for naught anyway.
So I did flub that story a little bit. That's all right.
But anyway,
Yeah,
that's how it all
Philly,
happened.
Philly pulling the goalie in a tied game really kind of hurt us.
Not really.
I mean, that's essentially what got them. I mean, I think Detroit still would have locked up that spot, even if they didn't do that. And Philly, that game went to overtime. Who knows what happened there?
But anyway, that's not who even clinched it. It was the Washington Capitals. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
that is. Ugh. Rangers are going to play the Capitals in the first round because Carolina and the New York Islanders have been set for a little bit now.
Right. Yeah.
At this point.
The last few games.
Then in the Atlantic, you're looking at Florida and Tampa, Boston and Toronto.
Those are really good series. Except for the Rangers and Caps, I don't think that one's going to go too.
And then in the West, you're looking at Dallas. Dallas is still vying for that number 1 spot with Vancouver or Winnipeg.
Let me see.
It is a tight race either way.
Vancouver.
There's still 1 game left
yeah,
for each of them.
Winnipeg.
So
Yeah, so it would be Vancouver. Because Winnipeg's 3 points behind Dallas.
but anyway, one of them will play Nashville.
Nashville or LA, correct?
Nashville and LA, and maybe even Vegas can all switch around in the standings.
That's true.
Vancouver's locked up their division, the Pacific. Edmonton is locked into the 2nd position. Dallas.
Yeah. So we know Winnipeg and
Colorado.
Colorado are going to be playing each other out west, but that's the only locked in playoff matchup so far out west.
Yeah, Dallas is clinched too. So they're about there. We'll see which wild card, how that shakes out.
Right.
But yeah, no, Tampa Bay has been set in that first East wild card for a very long time. So they are back in the mix again. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, that's a scary team going in from wild card spot. I mean,
They're playing Florida. This is going to be a brutal first round in this Atlantic.
yeah.
Boston and Toronto again, first round.
And I think that's going to be an exciting series. I mean, I would have to think that Boston's goaltending is going to take that one. But, I mean, obviously there's a reason they play the games, so.
And just Boston's history against Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the very most Leafs way to go out on this whole year.
Yeah.
Like you could just hear the torment. I could just hear the tormenting voices from Toronto just being like, not again. not Boston again.
Yeah, they've got to be so upset. But I mean, I personally, I can't wait for another Florida-Tampa matchup. That's going to be electric.
Gets hockey brewing in that area too.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That's going to be a good one because you'll have
Vasilevsky and Matt.
who. So who are we pulling for overall? Since we have our
I mean, I want to see Gensel win another cup, so I'm going to go Carolina.
Jake and Jordan Stahl.
Yeah. See Stalzy winning as a captain. Maybe he retires then. I don't know. Just thinking out loud, he's what, 35, 36?
Maybe.
Right around there somewhere. I don't know. Like I said, just spitballing.
I think Mark Stahl's still playing though too, so they might.
I don't think he is. I know he played last year, but I don't think he got signed anywhere this year.
Wouldn't shock me if he did.
That's also true.
He'll probably be signed for next year too.
Gotta have a stall in the league, man.
Oh yeah, helps.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for the league. It's like having a Sutter in the league. Actually, I don't think there was a Sutter in the league this year. It's sad.
Poor Sutter family. So yeah, I would like to see Carolina win. We can get a first round pick out of it. If
Right.
It's worth the damn because it's a 31st or 32nd pick. Could be somebody. Could probably be nobody, but it could be somebody.
I think it would be somebody, kind of somebody. Yeah, I'd say either Carolina and then maybe Edmonton. See McDavid win a cup finally.
I just don't know if that team can do it.
I don't think they can either, but
They got Corey Perry. That might help.
I think that'll help somehow, some way. That helps.
It seems like it. He goes to cups like all the time anymore. Doesn't win them, but he goes to them.
Well, you want to talk about having somebody on your team that is always going to cups? Boston and Pat Maroon.
Good as that too. Oh no, Toronto.
Poor Toronto. Toronto fans do not like hearing that, I'm sure.
I have a kind of bias for Sam Reinhart still at the end of the year because what a performance. Florida's pretty good. Florida's a pretty good
Florida's
team.
a pretty damn good team. Yeah, and I mean, I think they showed that last year. I mean, listen, they came into this playoff sitting pretty. They didn't have to go on the run that we tried to go on this year that they went on last year and get all banged up down the stretch.
Well, they got two different lines that can completely take over a game with
Yeah.
Barkov and Reinhart on a line, and then you have Matt Tkachuk doing his thing on the second line.
Right.
Like,
I
or
mean,
whatever
but-
order you want to roll them in.
But that's just it. I mean, I think like having Matthew Tkachuk for like a whole playoff run. Now, obviously, we don't know what will happen in the future, but man, oh man, I mean, if that kid can stay healthy for that team, that's wild. Because he was playing, I think, or at least tried to play with a torn. What's
Sternum?
yes. He had something with his sternum. I know. Maybe it was fractured. I can't remember. Exactly. He had a tear in his sternum. But
It'd be a pretty wild injury.
yeah.
I mean,
Like
how do you do
Brady was like having to come to his house and like stay with him to like get him dressed in the mornings.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't really think Nashville has a shot.
No.
How about
No.
Vegas? You think there's any chance that they can beat Edmonton
I mean, if Vegas.
or Vancouver? Vancouver, yes.
I mean, listen. If it is Edmonton, Vegas, like I said, I know I want to see Edmonton win, but they played last year and Vegas went through them, so my money would be on Vegas, I think, in that series.
I don't know if they can push it if they can. Can they?
I mean, it would come down to goaltending, I think, and I would probably put my money on their goaltending as compared to Edmonton's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson still. Both of them were on that team last year with the Cup.
I do like Dallas too. Dallas has been a
Yeah.
really good team.
Dallas is.
I feel like they still haven't even quite hit their stride yet.
And like, talk about having one of the best goalies in the game. Jake Ottinger. I mean, fuck, that kid's good.
He is pretty good. He had a disappointing stretch earlier in the year, but he turned it on at late. But feels like it's just not good enough for my fantasy team. It was a battle. But it does appear that my defending championship is in danger. So shout out Levi. Good job. Hell of a team, man. Hell of a team. We did have to auto draft halfway through, but your auto draft did better than we did. So great job. You made some adjustments too. You fixed his team. Took up Wild Bill after I dropped him.
That's rough.
And that was rough. I had one of his 5 short-handed points, and I had none to compete with. So I'm in my last stand, but it doesn't look good. It would probably start if Jake Ottinger shut out the St. Louis Blues tonight. Maybe it happens. I don't expect it to. I expect to lose.
See it happening, but I wouldn't bank on it happening.
So I acquired a flurry of players, one of them including Michael Bunting. And one of them was also ruled out already as a healthy scratch. So that's great news to see. I can't pick anyone else up. All right, Cody Cece, you could rock with my team till the end. Why not? But good job either way here. Hell of a battle. We'll see you on the other side, Trophy. Maybe a miracle pulls out. It's all I can hope for at this point.
I don't think it'll happen.
So it's all over. So does this mean it's the actual end of the Breaking Bad memes for me?
I mean, no, I don't think so. Because thanks to some local man.
Oh.
Do you remember when former Greensburg police chief Sean Denning pleaded guilty in federal court? No?
I don't think I do remember that.
It was,
you go on, please.
It was to one count of conspiracy to distribute meth and cocaine. He was accused of committing this act with a government informant and connecting that person with other drug dealers, well, I shouldn't say other drug dealers, but drug dealers in California to buy drugs. And he was arrested last year in early 2023 when he also resigned from being Greensburg's police chief. So that kind of reminds me, a week or two ago, I was out, I like to push through town, and I was one block down from the police station. And some guy yells from across the street at me, "Hey man, you know where I can get some rocks?" And I said, "No, I don't." And then he proceeded to try to have a conversation with me for 5 minutes, and I was like, "Dude, I'm wearing earbuds. I can't hear you at all." So yeah. He also conspired with a former police officer in the area as part of the operation, who is also facing charges related to the case, but we don't know necessarily what those charges are. He's expected to be sentenced on August 13th. So
he did plead guilty to his charges.
Yeah.
That you could maybe have read.
It didn't say that he pled guilty in this article.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
I think did I not read that? I think I read that in the first article, the first line. Because it's literally what I read, the first sentence. Yeah, I read that.
He pled guilty.
Yeah, I read that whole thing one. Thank you. So,
wild.
Yeah, do you remember when our local police chief was arrested last year?
I think you're just making shit up. I think you're just talking about.
You can go to
Walter White accused.
I mean, if you want, I can give the proof.
I did also send you the article.
I mean, I was
did
just
send
say
you the source.
I was going to say we can put our source out there. It's the local news.
Yes, they did confirm that it was in there. But that was quite an eye grabber today. But yeah, it did feel like it does sound like Walter White, what he did accuse Hank Schrader of doing. His FBI brother-in-law.
I like how you purposely wore that shirt today.
Well, it's my last stand with with the team name finger.
I didn't know that was your team name, but all right.
We got the trophy on here, and it said team name finger on the
I
trophy.
didn't actually look at the team names.
You should have, because it's engraved on there.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't. I didn't take time to read the engraving.
Levi, if you win, go get the trophy engraved. I'll tell you where.
All right.
But no, I'm still on. Still throwing out haymakers out here, even though Cody Cece's hurt, because that was my one random pickup.
I thought it was a healthy scratch.
Well, you see, it says out, so I feel like it hurts my team when he's healthy scratch. So it's hurt to me.
I thought you said he's hurtful to my team when he's healthy.
Probably would be if we did plus minus, but
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
but no, as long as he would just hit people, that's good enough for me. But no, I'm not gonna even get
You're
that.
not gonna get that,
I don't even
yeah.
get the hits.
Maybe an assist, like on a nice little breakout to McDavid, who just takes it, 85% of the length of the ice.
Exactly.
Nope, not a chance tonight.
Nope, no shot.
Better luck next year.
That's why I picked up guys like Warren Fogle from the Oilers to do exactly the same thing too.
I just read he's a healthy scratch.
Bring it. And you didn't.
I did not. No. Yeah, I definitely did not.
All right.
I have not paid attention to fantasy sports.
Well, sorry.
I still made the championship in Phoenix's league. Shout out to you, Phoenix. And literally didn't even mess with my roster for most of the year.
Wow, such a humble brag.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the fantasy sports update that nobody wanted.
Yeah. Well, we can give the people an update that they might want. Last week we talked about the Pirates and their upcoming stretch of games.
Yeah, Bucko talk. We didn't even get into Bucko talk because we're so butthurt about the Pens.
And yeah, and rightfully so. But so I think the last time we talked, they were 9-3, and they are now, I believe, 11-6, or maybe even 11-7. Oh, 11-8. Okay. So not great. But we did say, so they had a 4-game series against the Phillies. They took 2, split that. Can't really argue with that. I think is what we came to conclude last week. Is splitting with them would be great. Even just winning 1 we would take. But we did lose all 3 to the Mets, and that last game was played today, and that went final 9-1.
Pittsburgh Pirate baseball.
The Pittsburgh Pirates are back, it seems, folks.
They are back, it seems.
The Pittsburgh Pirates of old. The losing Pittsburgh Pirates, if you will.
So what do they have up next? I mean, this is
Up next, they have the Red Sox, the owners of the Penguins.
That's a weird twist to put on that.
That's kind of true.
But it is.
They are 9-9 coming in. Now I don't know. They probably won't play. Well, they might play tonight. Let's see.
Let's say quietly. Let's see what's fired up. Let's get fired up for it.
So they do play tonight, and they play the 12-5 Cleveland Guardians.
Who's playing the Cleveland Guardians?
Boston.
Oh.
I was wondering if they have a game coming in tonight because the Pirates had already played.
Gotcha.
So I just was giving you a record.
Yeah, they're pretty mediocre too, looking kind of like the Penguins, 9-9.
Yeah, that's.
It is also the Penguins owner, as you mentioned.
Yeah, well, let's spend a little bit of money here, so we got the off season to do it. Back to the Pirates. Yeah, they got what, a three-game series with the Red Sox, and is it at home?
We got a whole week homestand coming up here.
Ooh, baby.
We got the Sox and the Brewers.
The Brewers are kind of hot right now. Same amount of wins, but 2 less losses as of right now. With, I'm sure, games coming up.
Yeah.
Because they play like every night.
3 games set against the Sox, 4 against the Brew Crew. Milwaukee always bones us.
I think you have to take all 3 games from the Red Sox if you want to kind of stay relevant to open up the year.
Yeah, 'cause they're going to get passed by pretty quick. We're already in 3rd place in the NL Central.
1 game back, but everybody else is 2 and 3 games back. So,
Very early. A lot of baseball to talk about. That's for sure.
yeah. Only 150 something more games to go. 40. Because 11 and 8 is 19.
That's about right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's math.
143.
All right.
Because it's 162 games, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
I did see
DeMar.
or not DeMar Hamlin. O'Neal Cruz. He went down.
Again? Oh my god.
So he's hurt.
How did he go down that made you think that he was DeMar Hamlin? Did he just drop?
Drew running into second base, allegedly. Slow to get up. He did remain in the game. We'll see.
Starling Marte hit his 150th career homer today to power the Mets to their 9-1 win.
He made it a Marte parte.
He did. The milestone 2-run homer off the railing beyond left center field to give the Mets a 2-1 lead, and that's when they didn't look back. They took the 2-1 lead and steamrolled that into 9. He leads all current players with 341 steals in his career. That's kind of impressive.
Active players.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's a shame we couldn't add more to the team when we did. So, by the way, Paul Skeens has been
35 now. That's crazy to think about. Sorry, I know I cut you off.
all good.
Starling Marte's 35. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I'm old.
I want to talk about how Paul Skeens has looked in AAA because that's already like.
Is it not good or is it very good?
No, it's video game number good. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, he should probably just come up at this point.
I mean, I would agree, but probably not going to happen.
I think there's stipulations of contract control. I'm not exactly sure.
I thought it was 13 games or something like that, but clearly that's not it.
No, but I think there's another like window or something that's like 60 games in,
Oh, okay.
maybe. Depending on like impacts like the service years or something. I'm not sure. But well, if anything, the Buccos will milk this Paul Skeens thing out in AAA for way longer than they need to, and then he'll get bored down there and probably ruin his development because of it. And then,
Well, I mean,
I don't know if they could do that to him.
I don't think. I have no idea. I don't know what any of this means. It looks like right now he has 3 games.
I don't think Garrett
0-0.
I don't think Garrett Cole's even came in and been this good. Like whenever Garrett Cole was coming in, like, he was like the most impressive pitching prospect I think we've ever had.
Yeah, I would.
At least in this early '90s to late, whatever we are at this point, 2024. Yeah, like there are years that have just been crap.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess he started 3 games. He doesn't have a win or a loss yet, though, according to the minor league website here.
Yeah, he's only making like 3 innings. Like,
okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. He's 3 games, 9.1 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, and .64 whip, which is, I guess, with hitters in position to score.
Yeah, something along those lines, I believe.
But how does he have .64 if he has 0 ERA?
And it's like walks, hits.
Oh, okay.
Walks and hits. And
Walks,
hits.
walks and hits.
Inning pitched.
Oh, okay. All right, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, that's microscopic.
We'll take that. Yeah. 3 innings is not a lot. I mean,
He's already doing this in AAA. Just he
Yeah,
just
but
needs
it's only 3 innings. I mean, how do you know that he doesn't fatigue later in games? And that's whenever he loses command of his pitches.
because he was throwing 100 miles an hour plus last year towards the end of the college baseball World
I'm not
Series.
really down with that. But I'm just saying, like at the pro level, I guess.
I guess they want to see. Probably should see if this team's even worth bringing him up to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
Before.
thinking. I'm thinking that they're thinking.
I don't think they're gonna have. I don't think they're gonna have a choice at this point, though. If he keeps putting up numbers like that, even if he goes in longer outings, like it doesn't look like he's having any issues with 3 innings.
I wouldn't say, yeah. So I mean, he's had 3 starts already. Maybe now they start to give him a little bit longer of a leash. Maybe send 4 or 5 innings. I don't know. Maybe in Game 4 they gave him 4 innings.
I can see the dude just coming up to the major leagues and just doing the exact same thing.
I think so.
I know the major leagues is a whole
in
different.
the first year,
It's a whole different level than the AAA, but like if he's doing that already against the best of the minor leaguers, like he's clearly got major league stuff at that point.
right. But in their minds, I could only see them thinking, is it the fact that he is that good, or is it just that they haven't seen his stuff before? So
They're also just not going to bring him up.
right. But also, I think that's kind of got to be a little bit in the back of their heads, at least. Like, okay, like, yeah, he's doing really well, but is it because he is this good, or is it because guys just haven't seen him and the way he pitches? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about baseball, clearly, but
Anyways,
just thinking.
that's Paul Skeens talk. So we'll see him when he gets. We'll see him when he gets called up, I guess. Eventually.
We'll see him next year, bud, because this team's not going
We'll see. And there's been nothing interesting with the Steelers. NFL draft is
next Thursday, right?
it is right around the corner.
You know what's interesting? I just got a notification. We are under a tornado watch until tomorrow. That's a little interesting.
Ooh. You hear it coming, I think.
I thought you were just gonna like rip ass into the microphone. I'm not gonna lie.
So there's the Pirates. We expect. We'll say if we get 3 wins in this stretch, yippee!
Of 7 games.
Of 7 games.
I mean, yeah, that's.
Because I just expect a tough time against the Brewers.
I think you probably would take all 3 against the Red Sox then, yeah.
If they can ideally split against the Brewers, that'd be
That'd
rad.
be great, yeah. Like we said against the Phillies, and they ended up being able to do. Sorry, I'm looking at how Aroldis Chapman has done this year.
I haven't heard the closer talk nearly as much anymore.
Yeah, in the last 7 days, he's played in 3 games, 1.1 innings pitched, and 3 earned runs.
So that's that. That's the Bucko talk.
I'm sorry. His ERA in the last 7 days.
20.25. Yeah, it can look really ugly in a small fraction.
Yeah, that's concerning. And 3 strikeouts in those 7 days.
Maybe it kind of coincides with the quietness of the closer talk.
I would have to say so. Yeah, venture to.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's that.
Well, that's great. That's looking really good so far.
One Pirate problem down. Now, next one, we lost a few in a row. All right, right the ship.
We can do that. We can listen. Like I said, We'll win. Well, I think they're going to sweep the Red Sox.
Okay. I'm expecting 3 wins in the next 7 days. So let's go Bucks.
They have 7 games in those 7 days. Let's see, is there any more news on him? No.
Just the
Oh, okay. So the
drug.
Pirates could have
Drugs.
activated. Who's on drugs? I don't know.
No, I said just the drugs for the cop.
Oh, for
the chief.
The chief. Okay.
Yeah, there's that news that we did not break.
We did not break that. No. Thankfully.
We just.
I don't know that I would really want to break that kind of news. Also, I don't think that we had the podcast whenever he originally got arrested to be able to break the news.
Probably not.
Yeah, because it said early 2023. Definitely was not us.
Nope. Not us, but we've been going for a little bit though.
Coming up on.
Episode number 50 is probably just around the corner at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to think so, probably.
Because we're at like 42. I think this is 43.
That math checks out to me.
Yeah, episode number 43. Maybe. But that is, I can't believe we've been doing this long.
I know, right?
How are we still talking? Now the challenging part's back. There's going to be no more Penguin hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's get some questions that can be thrown out there. You know, whenever it does come time to clean out lockers.
Yeah, let's,
What would we ask?
who are we talking to? And you were right, this is episode 43.
Mike Sullivan.
What the fuck? Why were no changes made on the power play? I mean, like, I get it. That isn't necessarily your job, but like, you are the head coach. Like, if something isn't going the way you expect it to go, you should be the person that has like end all be all power, I guess, is probably what I'm trying to say, but probably not. Like, what you say should go. So you should be in charge of that. I would want to know why, like I said, no changes were made, personnel wise or structure wise, I guess.
Why were you always losing 3-on-3 in overtime?
Yeah, why were you not starting Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin in a vast majority of your overtime appearances?
You practice the shootout so much, like you guys have over the years. Like why are we not incorporating the overtime, the 3-on-3 format into practice? Or is it being incorporated into practice?
Yeah, I guess. And then another question I would have for him is, how would he be able to? How would he get more out of his bottom six coming into next season? Because the last 2 seasons, the bottom six has been atrocious scoring wise.
And it's been mostly new characters each year too.
Right. So I mean,
you can only blame Jeff Carter so much. Jeff Carter was probably
actually
the best one on there, but his
Yeah.
contract is just about up
I
too.
think his contract is up after tonight's game, more or less. I mean,
And just a lot of disappointing things overall.
right. I mean, what do you?
Power play. I mean, you're right on the power play, but like, I mean, I think that's almost more of a question I have for the players too.
Right.
Malkin,
But again, I think, I mean,
Kang, Carlson.
like, if like you're the coach, if you're realizing that this isn't working, and clicking at a 14% rate for the season is not, like, you should know that that's not good. So where are you going to make changes? And sometimes that just doesn't always come down to the players that are out there. It comes down to they're being told to do things a certain way and run a power play a certain way, and don't deviate from running it this way. So
let's even take a look at like who we got on these contracts and what's on the horizon here this off season. This sucks. I thought we were gonna have more playoff coverage. Really, I really did. This sucks. That I really did thought we were gonna have more playoff coverage, or any playoff coverage, even a first round. I thought maybe a first. In reality, maybe a first round exit would have been nice again. But is it really nice? Is it really nice to actually make the playoffs? Should have just tanked.
That's such a tough position because I don't like to be.
You gotta tank it.
And I don't like to. Yeah, I'm like Sidney Crosby. I don't like to tank.
Like, but when we tank,
I don't like to lose. So
Jeff Carter does come off the books.
He does.
That frees up approximately $3.125 million for them to play with.
Right.
Emil Benstrom, he's a restricted free agent, so he'll probably stick around.
He'll be back. Jansen Harkins will be gone.
Get him out of here. Don't
worry about him.
Don't bring him back. But we will be seeing Jesse Puljujarvi maybe next year. He's on a 2-year deal, but
yeah, I would think so.
$800,000. I hope they would actually use him.
You got P.O. on the defensive side, who is a RFA, as well as Jack St. Ivany, and then Ryan Shea is a UFA.
He's not one of them. Who's that? T.O. Joseph.
Yeah, no.
Does anybody give up Jack St. Ivany? Jack St. Ivany, he's earned himself a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it isn't two-way.
I think he's going to get himself a one-way.
I think so. Yeah, I think him and Ryan Shea are going to battle for that 6th spot next season.
Ryan Shea's an unrestricted. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, because he did play pretty well.
Yeah. And then Alex Nedeljkovic in net, who was your starting goalie down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams are going to jump at him next season.
And Tristan Jarry is
4 more years.
4 more seasons at 5.375. So you do have a few dollars coming off the book. You still have some other contracts that might be considered a bit of albatrosses. You still got some dead cap. Well, Jake Gensel's dead cap for the rest of the season coming off the books too. Another 1.5 for the team to play with. And we still have 1 more year of Jeff Petrie.
According to
on the books.
Cap Friendly, the projected cap space oh wait, no, that's not it. Never mind.
And if you were wondering, yes, we're still paying for Jack Johnson for another 2 seasons through 2025-26, $916,000. Just going to
but
Jack
you know
Johnson.
what? We are. I think that's finally. I think last year was the last of the $1 million payouts to him. I think it was up to like $1 million last year.
It's still looking. It still says so in Cap Friendly. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
But then you still have Ryan Graves at a $4.5 million deal. You still have that's a long
Smith
deal
for next year as well at $5 million.
Nola Chari for $2 million, and remember when Matt Nieto played a game? I don't. He's gonna be back next year at $900,000.
I mean that's whatever. I mean
Still have Marcus Pettersson for about $4 million. The Tang's still signed for a good while at 6-1. Carlson is a $10 million hit for us at this point. San Jose is eating another 1.5, but look at the number, $11.5 million deal was paid, signed.
Right.
And that was a very underwhelming season. The fever dream was probably actually a fever dream. The guy was a little too hot and heavy, maybe.
Yeah.
A little too hot to handle.
Yeah, I think the on paper of that was probably a little bit more ideal than actual output. Oh, is. Or no, that's the end of this.
And we still have Brian Rust through the 2028 season, $5.1 million. Brian Rust is 31 currently. Ricard Raquel is 30 years old at $5 million, also with a 2028 expiring deal. Rusty, that one's not going to age well.
No. And then you also have Valtteri Puustinen on a
also
RFA deal.
And redeems a horn as an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, that's
anybody
you
here.
You can go get claimed or go sign Calgary again or Toronto or not here.
Valtteri Puustinen, is he worthy of a roster
Yes.
spot? Are you sure? Because I'm not sold. There wasn't enough. There was some excitement, but there wasn't enough.
I think he could end up being better than Drew O'Connor. I think if given the opportunity to consistently play with like a Gino, I think he'll be okay.
Well, you kind of have Michael Bunting next year.
Don't they play the opposite wing? Yeah.
I feel like he kind of fizzled out. He kind of had his hot guy stretch real quick where he was like started off on a hot burst and looked good.
I mean,
flashed
very well
and
maybe,
new.
but I mean, you're gonna need somebody to step up and take a top six role next year because I don't think you're gonna get it from Riley Smith again next year. Who knows how much you're gonna get out of Brian Rust next year and the next 3 years after that. I mean,
What are you going to get out of? I'm not even really worried about Rust. I'm really worried about the Ricard Raquel deal. Like that should have just been.
that should have been a 2-year deal, 3-year deal at most.
I think he should have just been a rental.
Yeah.
He signed him to this. I didn't really like how he was fizzling out, or he was kind of doing this in Anaheim at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe he does bounce back one more time, but maybe somebody else might want to take that risk. See, the $5 million number
But he's
is
got a
most
modified
scary.
no trade clause.
That's the other thing. They're all on these no trade clauses.
Yep. Him, Riley Smith, and Russ has a full no move clause.
We do have Michael Bunting committed to for 4.5. So.
Right.
So I would probably expect to see Carter retire at this point.
Yeah. So they
39.
They do the jersey off your back night for the last home game of the year. He was like walking around the rink with his kids. Kind of looked like he was taking that last lap, like taking it all in with his kids.
He'd be the type of dude that wouldn't announce it and just do it.
Yeah. So I kind of think like they literally showed him like he was holding both of his kids' hands, just walking around the ice, just like looking up into the stands. And
Yeah.
That to me, like that, seeing that moment, I was like, oh, I think he might be done after this year.
Yeah, and I feel like this is probably going to be a good thing for this team. Because another thing that did irk me about the year, and while, you didn't have to do it because there is a lot of respect around the league for 1,000 games and whatnot, but just, it was all the little gimmicky stuff throughout the year. I know they're having fun, it's hockey, it's a pro sport, and they're just big kids having fun playing, or, some of them are men. But either way, it was a little, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit too many teary eyes. The Yager one got all of us good.
I don't think that. I don't think 1,000 game presentations have much to do with how bad the team was.
They're just a bad team.
Yeah, 1,000 game presentation doesn't matter that much to where a team's just not going to play well.
Big nostalgia season. It was a good nostalgia season, though. I mean, for not making the playoffs and stuff, and not getting a first round pick out of things, and everything just sucks. So yeah, that's where are things gonna go from here for the Penguins? It's tough to say until everybody's signed at this point.
Well, Well, yeah, but I mean, so at this point, there's two. There's two options. You try and either retool this team to try and make the playoffs next year, or do you just tear it all down, go bare bones, and just kind of see what you can get for certain players, and just let Gino and Sid ride it out.
They got to figure out a way to acquire young players in trades, more like the. People are going to hate on the Gensel trade, but I think this one could be one that might give this team a 28. Shot.
He's a year younger than Gensel.
If one of those kids can hit from that trade.
Yeah. I mean, I know we got a lot of prospects, but
that's the one. That trade though is a little glimmer of hope that they can keep it going next year.
Right. Yeah, because now you have Sam Poulin, who knows what moves or what jump he's going to make. You do, like you said, you have what's his name, Pustonen, who's up and down. You had who else that was up and down this year? Gruden.
Is Drew O'Connor a formidable winger for Sidney Crosby at this point?
What I'm seeing for some people, he does kind of play that game that Sid likes, just that straight ahead game. This offseason, I think, will be a big one for Drew O'Connor.
He can bulk up a bit
more, and he needs to be on the ice and really working on his scoring touch if he wants to be up there working with Sid. But and then we were talking about youth. We just had a forward actually win the national championship in the NCAA tournament. University of Denver, Tristan Bros.
So is it the one that's spelled like Bros?
Yeah, with a Z.
Yeah, Bros.
Yeah, so
I hope he can make the team.
That'd be I think he scored the game winner in it was a 2-0 game.
I think if we had Tristan Bros and Chaz Lucius on a line. Bros, Lucius.
I mean that's sounds pretty solid to me. I just like the name Chaz Lucius. I just hope that one pans out. That'd be awesome.
If only one of them can pan out, please let it be him.
That's such a badass name. Shout out to that kid's parents. Like you knew you had a cool last name, and then you name him Chaz. That's awesome.
Anybody else we expect to see it all next year again between Sam Poulin is a restricted free agent as well, 23 years old.
Okay.
23 years old, and he still can't crack the lineup. Okay, Camo might have been right on that one. I'm being real pissed off about that pick way back when. I was like, why are you so mad? Now I'm seeing why. He was right.
Yeah, we took a chance on somebody that really only had like a scoring touch, really. So we'll see. I don't know if he was able to transition his game, and he didn't really play much this year. I don't think.
Mark Johnston, you expect to see him next year. Vasily Ponomarev.
He was one of the prospects that we got for Gensel.
Yes.
I kind of think I would. Yeah. We'll see how development camp pops out, or not development camp, but training camp comes out. Well, maybe
talk about training camp.
Maybe even in April. Yeah. Well, you're talking about next season already.
I am.
There's still one more game to go tonight.
Well, it's already over anyway.
The season, the playoffs. Hopes, yes.
There's still one more game, but by the time anybody hears it, the game's going to be over anyway. We already know this.
That's true.
John Gruden.
I don't think he should. But
what if the Penguins hire the John Gruden from the NFL to blast out fun emails to everybody?
I definitely don't want Mark Johnstone around then.
What about Ville Koivunen?
I think he's still only like 19, so I don't know necessarily that he'll be up next year, but I do think the next couple of years he will be up.
Owen Pickering.
If he can stay healthy, unless they move Ryan Shea in the offseason, or Graves, sorry.
Maybe they will. I don't expect them to be able to.
I don't either, but maybe somebody's willing to take a flyer on him.
Emil Pianiemi.
That's nonsense. No, not yet. Because again, these guys are only like 19.
I'm just throwing out random names.
Yeah, I can tell.
Taylor Fadoon.
Dude, no, he's fucking like 37. I fucking hope not. He's literally like 35, 36, and has played maybe 65 games in the NHL. No, I don't want him. He's the captain of the Wilkes-Barre team. He can stay down there. It's okay, buddy.
Joel Blomqvist.
I mean, if you don't re-sign Ned, yeah, I would really like to see that. Because I think, you need goaltending help, and that's your next one in the system. So if you can't sign Ned and can't find like a half decent, reliable backup, I don't see much of a choice. Especially because he's not going to be very expensive. He's going to be on an entry level deal.
Okay.
So what? One goaltender and maybe 2 forwards, 2 or 3 forwards.
All right, so that is your early off-season beginning. So, R.I.P. Penguins season. We
tried.
miss you.
We tried to rally him.
Can't believe it's already over. Our first run at the Penguins season, and it ends in this.
Maybe we should have expected this.
What was your favorite moment of this Penguins season? Let's pick one out. You gotta have one you liked. I know what mine is.
Go ahead.
Mine is whenever I was at the Blues game and I was yelling at Joel Hofer and he made direct eye contact into my soul because I said, "Joel, welcome to your worst nightmare." And then the Blues instantly scored, and he got me. He got me on that moment. Joel Hofer's got a fan for life in me, though.
My favorite moment was whenever everybody in the building was chanting "Fire Canada."
Ugh. That was a moment of this
season.
season.
The actual moment I could actually think of, because I was gonna say Sid down the stretch, but that's not a moment. That's like 18 games. Because he was just fucking nuts.
Okay, yeah, that's a good moment.
Yeah, right. I can give you a bad moment. We talked about it earlier in the show. Gino scoring on the empty netter.
That's your low. I feel like that's kind of the universal low point of this season.
That and the Anaheim one.
The Mason McTavish and them just
playing. That breakaway he has is burned into my head right now. I as I'm looking at you, I'm just watching him score.
Yeah. So that is our eulogy.
That is our disappointment.
So what do we talk about now to go on? We just gonna try and create rumors, or should we look back through our ideas and actually do some of them?
Let's take a look back, because I don't know that we actually did name the Salt Lake team that's supposedly apparently coming this season.
We do have the Salt Lake City Coyotes.
Yeah,
maybe.
Do you think they'll stay the Coyotes? I can't see that, because the Coyotes like a desert dog. You're not really in the desert in Utah.
The Coyotes, they are. I mean, I think they are the second most popular animal in Utah. I saw it.
Really?
I saw it somewhere on the internet. It could be lying to me. So feel free to confirm that.
Take that with a grain of salt, then.
So there's that. It could just be the Coyotes. It could be whatever their minor league team is.
The Road Runners.
No, that's Tucson. I'm talking about there's an ECHL team in Utah.
Oh, okay.
There's that. It's the Grizzlies maybe.
Yeah, but isn't that their basketball team? No, they're the Jazz. Never mind. That was stupid. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. Maybe they should just call the Utah Jazz.
I mean, they have the same owner. Fuck it.
Yeah, we could make that work. Utah Jazz hockey team. That's
How pissed off do you think St. Louis Blues fans would get?
Blues versus Jazz would become an epic rivalry.
I think that actually might be kind of cool.
That's what I was.
As fucking lame as it would be to have the Utah Jazz in both the NBA and NHL. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they should just name the team the Utah Jazz. Right there.
All right,
that's my final submission.
Ryan Smith, you heard it here first. Name your team the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, you don't have to market it. You just like, hey,
you literally have no
Utah
marketing.
Jazz.
Yeah,
that's half the mystery. You just go
Which Utah Jazz game are you going to see? I don't know.
Guess I'm gonna find out.
Should I dress warm or should I wear like a basketball jersey? Well, I don't know. Maybe take your basketball jersey underneath a hoodie.
Who are the Memphis Grizzlies? I guess I'm seeing them play.
I didn't know Memphis had an NHL team.
I'm sure I won't see any weird things happening there. Anyways, we're still going on. We're still going.
We are still going. Wow,
Should
that was a
end.
long one.
Should end. Should
end. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can wrap it up by saying, come if you can and you're in the area, come watch us play national championships this weekend out in where is it? Westchester, PA. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to preview that at all any further?
I think we kind of talked about it last week. We're playing in the top tier this year. We're playing Northeast Passage, which is a team from the New Hampshire area. They're gonna have a couple of national team guys, current national team guys, a couple of guys that are fringe guys. I hate to use that word, but they're not on the team yet, but they are in the bubble, in the hunt, I guess. Playing a team from Chicago, has I think just one retired national team player on it, but he's ex-military, he keeps himself in shape. They have a kid who has been on the development team in net for the last couple of years. Playing a team from Space Coast, Florida. They also have a goalie who's been on the development team for the last couple of years. A guy who's on the national team right now, and another kid that I don't think he said he isn't going to be there. That's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, just there's only 3 other teams in our tier, so exciting. One team we played last year in tier 2, and we beat them in a shootout in the championship game. So we shall see how that goes. Very intriguing, very interesting weekend ahead of us. I can't wait.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
Plus,
I'm excited.
It's always good just to see your buddies. Plus, I think you remember Santos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there for UNH. So I'll finally get to play against him. It's been a few years since I've gotten to play against Danny. That'll be good. And then, not really anybody else you know. Like I said, Rico is going to be there for Chicago. You know him. Other than that, that's about it that you would know.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend, and
Thanks.
and remember, no matter the result of this Islanders game, which is actually about to start in 4 minutes.
Oh boy. I would say let's get out of here. I would say let's get out of here so we can go home and watch this game, but it doesn't matter, so I don't really care. I don't really think I'm going to go home and watch it.
All right. Well, have fun with all that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And we will see Yinzal next week at some point. We don't know what day. Probably Thursday.
I would imagine back to our regular day.
For-
Tomorrow's my travel day, that's why we're recording on Wednesday.
And we also thought that there's a chance that we were not here. But
Yeah.
anyways, back at you at the regularly scheduled programming. Still praying for a miracle in this championship.
It ain't gonna happen. Keep pushing buttons.
All right. Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
Let's go
So
Bucks.
let's win 3 of 7.
Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
Bucktober, please happen, please.